Onto your seats, kiddies. It's time for the game where everyone competes for a shot at street stardom, Bingo! And yours truly, DJ Professor K, will bring you the lowdown on this event. Two teams of Rudies are about to race through the streets of Tokyo To to complete their bingo board objectives. For every soul and character they unlock, they'll receive a point. If a team manages to cover an area in graffiti, they'll get a whopping 3 points. But they better watch their backs, because it's first come, first serve around these parts. Only one team can claim each square, and we don't hand out no consolation prizes for second place losers. Ha 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 ha! If a team can work together and mark 5 squares in a row, column, or a diagonal, they'll secure a bingo and be rewarded with a 2-point bonus. Ooh! Oh, and one final thing. Don't forget, this game is all about working together with your teammate. So any tape pickups, stolen locks, and graffiti completions will be synced between team members. Don't try to solo it alone, you jackass. All right, let's hit this joint. It's time for another round of Jet Set Radio Bingo!
And welcome back to match 2 of our Bingo Double Bill. Going up against each other for Bingo Supremacy, we have another 2 teams ready to fight it out. Our first team is a team that, according to Urban Dictionary, is ready to bring the hype. It's Ryomi and Yayo de la Riva from Team Hypebeasts. And our second team fighting for the crown is a team that shows us what happens when you put an American and an Australian on the same team, ready to try and catch up to the competition and finally emerge victorious. It's Daf7 and Miku_DS from Team Unhandled Exception. And in the commentators box today we have the duo that thought a line of men waiting for a haircut was a barbecue. It's Kev360 and Eclapricious.
Welcome back to Bingo for part 2 of the Bingo Double Bill. Today we've got Hypebeasts taking on Unhandled Exception in what promises to be another exciting game of Bingo. I'm Ekla, and I am joined on commentary for the first time ever by Kev.
Yes, good evening or morning, probably where you are.
Good time
I'm
zone.
excited for this match. Yeah, Yayo
Yeah,
and
I think this could
Ryubi
be really
stuffed
good.
Miku. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Unhandled Exception have proven, they've improved over the course of the tournament so far, and it's going to be a clash of styles, this one, because we have Hypebeasts who are very prone to going for graffiti a lot of the time, and then you have Unhandled Exception who pretty much don't do graffiti if they can avoid it. And I'm wondering how that's going to shape up in this game.
yeah, definitely. Some interesting plays to be made.
So we'll get our first board of the game momentarily, and we'll see just where the or how the cookie crumbles, because if it's a heavy graffiti board, then that certainly favors Hypebeasts. But if it's a 1 graffiti board, or perhaps if the graffitis on the board are... Oh, well, it's a 1 graffiti board, and it's a fast graffiti. It's Highway 0. This board is great. Highway 0, graffiti, air, and grind, all in that little corner on the bottom left. And then tricks up in the top right. Heavy, heavy Benton board. Duff's going to be happy with this one.
Yeah.
What else have we got on here? Not a lot of Shibuya stuff, but we do have platform. And then Chuo Air 4, Hikage Center Floating, all on the same column, is a pretty strong start if you are particularly fond of early Shibuya squares, which we know Ryomi is.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting to see what both teams will end up doing at the start here.
Yeah, Benton is so strong, and there are a lot of points there, but not a lot of them are very quick. You got a lot of stuff in Highway 0 and Dino, which takes a long time to get to, and then 99th Dark Wall Ride is kind of the only fast Benton square on the board, and it's not incredibly fast, relatively speaking. You can take it and then continue on, though, so Benton's strong, but perhaps not the early gameplay.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they both start off with Darkside, but no, it appears, 2 people in Shibuya, 2 people in Benton. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah, it's interesting when I see a board that's so heavily stacked in one area, because, yeah, there are a lot of bingo plays that you can make, but you still got to go out to Kogane at some point, right? Oh, Ryomi got the fast platform unlocked. Very nice. Locking in the first square of the game.
Miku going straight to Churro and South of Hayashi and 0.60k. Yeah, both are pretty. Oh, and F4 even. Both are pretty fast squares. Oh, we're messing up the fast South of Hayashi. Still good though, and it still
This
has the
gives
lead
Ryomi
over
the chance to
Ryumi.
catch up. Well, Miku
Awesome.
locks in south of Hayashi, so he does get it. And Ryomi leaves.
Goes
Okay,
back.
well, Miku wins that.
Fair play. Wins all of Churro then.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Perhaps,
Yeah.
Ryomi just wanting to get points elsewhere. He can get Hikage uncontested now, and that's 2 points. So Miku theoretically can get everything in Churro here and pick up 3 points. Ryomi gets 2 points in Hikage and then 1 point in Shibuya. Elsewhere on the map, Yayo and Daft are both in Bentoncho, and it's Yayo who's into Highway 0 early, and I wonder if he'll commit to the graffiti. I didn't see if he was spraying already.
Yeah. It's interesting where Rumi goes now, but I think they both play 4D chess with each other because they don't know where they are, and if someone's spraying Highway 0 graffiti, that's catastrophic for the other player. So I think they're just playing safe squares until they find out what to do. And with that being said, Darth 7 marks Sky Dino, so Yayo is presumably going to be starting on that Highway 0 graffiti.
Yeah, the question to
Presumably.
me is if he sprayed the start of the level, because there is, there's a route that you can take through Highway 0 where you can spray the beginning sprays whilst you're waiting for Daft to reveal, and then pick up the graffiti route immediately when you know that you're not contested. I don't know if Yayo had the presence of mind to do that, or if he just went into Highway 0 with the plan of getting the souls and leaving.
Absolutely. I think the latter happened. I don't think he got the starting sprays. And he's not going for them now. Okay.
Interesting. I mean, it doesn't really slow you down all that much to just pick up the sprays as you're going here, and then come back into Highway 0 later on if you need to pick up that graffiti route. But maybe he just doesn't want to mess with his current game plan of unlocking Brick 70 and leaving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
So-
feel like you can just spray these, but that's fine. Daft is currently clearing out Sky Dino, where there is on top T-Rex and Platform Under First Swing that he's already picked up, both on that column 4. If there is a potential bingo threat there. Then there's also Special and Tricks, so Dino very, very stacked, and pretty decent for board control, though with Highway 0 Tricks locked in, the potential row 2 that was building for Unhandled exception goes away. Closely contested early game so far. Ryomi into RDH.
Yeah, and Miku, but Miku's going to notice pretty soon and eventually, hopefully, turn around. Unless there's anything else. There's Tricks 35, maybe. I mean,
Brick
it's just
35 does
interesting to
require
see.
you to go to the top, though.
Oh, that's true.
Curious, though.
Unless
Ryomi
Miku is.
just... yeah, okay. Ryomi gets the default and leaves. Miku gets the tape and is also leaving. So there's not a lot of information you can use in that situation to know exactly what your opponent is doing. Both for Ryomi and for Miku in that situation. Ryomi doesn't know where Miku was. Miku knows that Ryomi picked up that default, but doesn't know whether he unlocked and was working towards Tricks and Special, and in avoiding the risk of getting sniped, has instead moved into Sewers. This puts Ryomi ahead into FRZ, and Miku's gonna be following him up.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day for Miku, getting sniped to everything. Unless Rumi skill issues, but counting on Rumi to skill issue is not a good strategy. But
Yeah, I think in general, expecting your opponent to make a mistake is not necessarily part of the game plan.
Yeah, generally. Yeah, but Unhandled exception have lost their killer lead right now. And I think it's just a case of putting out fires because actually not even. There's like not too many graffitis. I mean, bingos on board. And Yayo is going for that Highway 0 graffiti, speaking of. Daft is still in Sky Dino, just leaving, I assume.
Yeah, this is kind of the Daft strategy in a lot of ways, is to go to an area where there are a lot of points, where you're unlikely to be contested, and just clear that out, and to pick up the points for your team. Whilst Miku is the one who typically goes a little bit more head-to-head with opponents, just kind of giving each player a different role on the team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
We got Yayo working on the Highway 0 graffiti here, having read where Daft was on the board, and knowing he's not contested, he can commit some more time to this, meaning he gets all of the points in Highway 0, which is 6 points, I believe, in total for his time. Daft is only going to get 4 points out of Dino for this, I believe. So it is a trade-up in the favor of Yayo.
Yeah. And they've actually pulled it back quite a bit. There's no more graffiti. There's no more bingos left on the board apart from that column 1, which I think is unlikely at best. So yeah, I guess it's just a game of who can get the most points.
So Miku actually managed to pick up something in FRZ. He gets grind and now leaves. So that's pretty much the best he could ask for in that situation. It keeps Unhandled exception in this game, but with the graffiti now locked in by Yayo, the points swing in the favor of Hypebeasts.
Yeah.
What's the win condition here then? We now see Daft just now leaving Dino and out on the map for the first time in a while. There's still points in SDPP and 99th that he could pick up, since he is so fond of Benton Show. I think this is just going to be a raw points game. You know, it's just going to be down to who can pick up the most points, because, as you said, chances of a bingo pretty slim at this point. The Hypebeasts still do have the row 3, row 4, but 2 SDPP squares in there, and 99th means that Daft could likely contest.
Yeah.
And then Miku is currently in RDH, which blocks at least the row 3. It also does contribute towards that column 1, which is the last remaining bingo for Unhandled exception.
Yeah.
Still options. This game is still far from decided.
Yeah. And that's that dark hole right off the board. So no more bingos left, at least to my knowledge. And it'll just
Yeah,
be
not for Unhandled
doubling
exception.
points. Yeah.
Hypebeasts have not been a team that's necessarily worked towards bingos. They tend to prioritize graffiti, and now with SDPP Air locked in by Daft, that takes one of those bingos off the board for Hypebeasts, leaving them just the row 4.
Yeah, that's true.
SDPP
Rumi is a
tricks would
strong
block that,
believer.
though.
Yeah. Yeah. Rumi is a strong believer in that, like, bingos aren't the be-all end-all.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, that's just going to be the pace of this game, I think. And we, as expected, Hypebeasts picked up the graffiti, but it hasn't given them a decisive lead. With 5 points remaining on the board, 14 to win, Hypebeasts are just one. Yeah, Hypebeasts are just one away from the win, which makes Miku and Daft, they have to make the perfect calls and find the perfect snipes here. Daft is doing SDPP tricks, which basically, I think, leaves him locked in here for the rest of the game, which means Miku needs to be in 2 places at once, with Ryomi going into sewers now to go to Kibo, and Yayo is going to be able to lock up, presumably, Hikage points. Yep, he's not even going to bother going into SDPP, knowing that that has been Daft's domain for the entire game. Hypebeast should be able to lock this in here with 100% certainty, because Miku, unfortunately, cannot be everywhere on the map. And yeah, in this game, it really just came down to who could pick up the more points more rapidly. And Hypebeasts, the graffiti swings it for them with that Highway 0.
Yeah, in low graffiti games, it's usually like that, but we might see something different next game. The game isn't over entirely. We can't be too preemptive about this. Likely, but
yeah, I mean, teams have tendencies, but we have seen teams adapt based on their opponent, knowing, you know, where their strengths lay and how to attack those. In this case, though, it was very much EXE playing their own game and saying, we don't want that graffiti. The Highway 0 was definitely a bit of a poison chalice in this game, though, if you do try to contest it, because you're always going to be playing that game of chicken with your opponent of, are they going for the graffiti or for the souls? Because realistically, you can't go for both, because you can finish Highway 0 graffiti in 2.5 minutes. You know, it's by far the fastest route in the game.
Yeah. And that being said, Daft has Mark Trick 60, which means Rumi wins with Kibo, because no one can get that fast enough. Unless that stall launch. Unlucky.
Yeah, there is the possibility that Ryomi misses stall launch like 10 times. But even then, it would still take some kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
The Miku winning to Hikage points certainly is good for him. Yayo was a million miles out on the map, so he gets that for himself. But with the 2 remaining points being in Kibo and Ryomi being in Kibo, you would imagine that this game is clinched for Hypebeasts. If those 2 squares were in different areas, you know, there's a possibility, but it's very unlikely from this position. But a close game one. Unhandled Exception almost had it. Just needed to be a little bit quicker around the map.
They definitely pulled it back. Yeah, it's been a lot of up and downs for Unhandled Exception, but Hypebeasts did come out a stronger team.
Yeah, and I think when you're up against Hypebeasts, they want to play this kind of very high-tempo game because of the movement ability of these two players, Ryomi and Yayo. They can be confident that they'll be able to get around the map a lot quicker than most other players. And that's honestly more. I think that decides this game more than the graffiti. Like, I think Unhandled Exception are willing to make that trade of Highway Zero for Dino at the beginning of the game. It's just a matter of they couldn't amass enough points elsewhere quickly enough because Ryomi and Yayo are just too quick around the map. You know, routing their way through the map as if it was a speedrun.
Yeah, exactly. They are like really intimate with where everything is. And for that reason, they do just come out a little bit faster when it comes to, you know, raw movement from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And yeah.
After Miku just now arriving to Kibo,
Really,
Miku has
really
decided not to go to
gravitate.
Kibo.
Never mind. Got there in the end.
But yeah, clearing out the board here since it will be almost down to the very last square. Yayo with a quick and clean stall launch there, waiting for the tricks unlock.
And that's game.
And that's game locked in.
GG Team Hypebeasts.
That was a good one. That was a very up-tempo game. Only 12 minutes on the clock to clear out almost the entire board.
Yeah. It was really close. It was really close.
Yeah, and there's definitely still the opportunity for Unhandled Exceptions to get right back in this in game 2.
Absolutely. I think they're going to want to finish out grind 20 and then probably happen to the
Picked
next
up
one.
right about now by
Awesome.
Ryomi, not Yayo. Yayo went to the wrong hole. Kibo moment. There we go. There it is. A full clear in under 13 minutes. And Hypebeasts taking the win by just 3 points.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It's what
Good
those
stuff.
low graffiti boards do.
Now, I'm very curious to see what the board is going to have for us in game 2, because as we said, graffiti does make a big difference in how these two teams will play. We had our one graffiti board. What will Unhandled Exception do if they're faced with more graffitis or longer graffiti routes is the question. We will find out momentarily. How you doing, chat? Are you enjoying bingo? Double bingo?
Double bingo. Special treat for this week.
The round robin is gradually wrapping up. We're into round 5 of 7. Playoff standings yet to be completely confirmed. That 4th spot is still definitely up for grabs.
And yeah, interesting board. Interesting board.
You've got the board, but I have not got the board. The board has not arrived on the stream yet, but why don't you give us a little sneak preview?
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Lots of, actually not too much Shibuya stuff, but all the stuff that's there is quite fast.
Shibuya Tricks, Shibuya Grind in Shibuya Terminal specifically, then Chuo Air 4 back again. Feels like it's been on every board today.
Yeah. That row 3 might be a bit sneaky. Lots of Sky Dino. Lots of Benton's actually a pretty good shout.
Once again, a lot of Benton. We'll see if Duft commits to that as much as he did previously. But yeah, again, there's kind of that split of Dino versus Highway Zero. Soda's not so attractive, but you do have Grind and Trash Pit, which are very, very quick. You could technically contest someone in Highway Zero there, but you'd have to make the right guess. Because if you go for Grind 15, you're not going to be getting Trash Pit anytime soon, and vice versa. So there are risks to be taken there, and we do know Unhandled Exception to be slightly risk-averse. Let's see if they play to their tendencies, or if they switch things up, because there are 3 graffitis on this board.
Yeah, and Rumi and Darth going dark side, while Yayo and Miku are going different areas. Actually, sorry.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, Miku will be uncontested into Shibuya Cho here, which means Tricks 25, Grind 10 in Shibuya. Pretty easy to pick up. Straight to Air 4 in Chuo by the looks of things. Grind. I don't necessarily like the Chuo start here. Yes, they're two relatively quick souls in Chuo, but I think you can just go Shibuya, unless there's a bingo play that they're angling for here, which will be the column 4.
Yeah. But yeah, Miku is uncontested, so that's all to Miku. Where is Darth going? Are they both going to go Highway Zero? It seems so.
Oh, we might actually get this contest here. So it's very much down to individual decision making here. Like, you cannot predict your opponent in this situation. It is just a coin flip of, does Ryomi go for Trash Pit? Looks like Ryomi's going for Trash Pit. And Darth looks like he's going for Grind, so it would be a 1-for-1 split.
Awesome. But Ryomi does get out a bit quicker, which is not great for unhandled exceptions, but, you know.
I think the play actually might be the row 5 here for Unhandled Exception. Going straight for the Grind 15 in Highway 0, then everything else is in Shibuya Cho, which Miku is uncontested to. Gets the extra point of the Chuo Air. Will be able to pick up Grind, and then Hikage Crane default, Dogen points and special to finish things off. It's not incredibly quick, and it's not impossible for Hypebeasts to counter this. I like the idea of rushing an early bingo in this game, because it gives you a little bit of a failsafe compared to having to pick up Graffiti against Hypebeasts.
Yeah, definitely. Rumi is going Sky Dino, so there is that BLTR to be slightly worried about, but as long as Miku gets that Dogen points 50k, it's all good. And yeah.
Yeah, this is curious. Okay. Sky Dino being on that diagonal means that there goes Ryomi straight into Sky Dino for the Graffiti. There is also Air 6 on the board, which is an option, but it's certainly not high priority right now. It is very much the rush for the bottom left to top right diagonal. Well identified there. Yeah, so both teams going for an early bingo play, and neither of them really colliding with each other in that regard.
Yeah. Rumi goes straight for Sky Dino Air 6. Yeah, it's really anyone's game to what they're planning.
I guess Ryomi just picks up the tape here just to have it. I mean, he can probably pick up Air 6 on the route because it's a relatively straightforward unlock. But yeah, I think the Graffiti is probably the priority here, unsurprisingly from Hypebeasts, but it does contribute to the potential diagonal bingo. And more importantly, it's center square. You know, it's center square and a Graffiti, so it's super, super high priority, and it's unsurprising to see Hypebeasts take that as their #1 priority in this early game.
Yeah. And now it's become a little more obvious to Team Hypebeast that row 5 is a threat. It's interesting to see
Where
what
does
they'll
Yayo
do.
go? Yayo has to go to Dogen right now.
Yeah. Ooh, Yayo might win this. Yayo will probably win this, actually.
Yeah, Yayo quite
the lead.
significantly ahead. Unhandled Exception don't know that this is happening, but they're going to have to adapt to their plan not working. And the question is, how well will they do that? What other options do they have? Certainly it's not the be-all end-all if they can't score this early bingo, but it does place a higher priority on Graffiti for them.
Yeah. And also, points 50k is like a good solid minute, which means Miku will probably realize a bit too late that I'm getting sniped, I should probably get out.
Yeah, that is an unfortunate situation for Miku here, because you're just now picking up the tape. He's going to be able to unlock these souls relatively quickly, but will have to complete another lap to pick them up. You know, he's going to have to do at least half of a lap of Dogen to pick up points. By that time, Miku is probably going to end up committed to the level.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, there is the possibility that Yayo stops to pick up Air 3. If Yayo picks up Air 3, Miku can probably get out of Dogen, get back out on the map, and maybe start up a Graffiti or something. I think for Yayo here, you can, like, obfuscate your plan by not picking up Air, but I wonder if he'll have the presence of mind to do that.
Yeah.
We'll find out momentarily. He does pick it up, so Miku now knows and is in a good position to leave Dogen. Yes, this means the bingo gets denied for for Unhandled Exception, and Yayo gets 3 points uncontested in Dogen. but this gets Miku out on the board elsewhere to do something, right?
Or
Miku,
not.
please don't commit.
Like,
He might be going into Shibuya, but it's probably faster to go through Garage, right?
yeah, but yeah, that's gonna put Team Unhandled Exception in quite a tough position because they have to block 2 bingos at once. That row 2 and that BLTR, which is just not great to be in.
Yeah, Hypebeasts have wrestled control of this board now. After the closely contested early start, it was a good read from Hypebeasts to deny that bingo, and they still have plenty of options open to themselves as well. Technically, the bottom left, top right is still available with Sky Dino and Jazz, and that could be a real problem for Daft if he doesn't read that. We've seen diagonal bingo sneak up on people. Daft right now in SDPP working on tricks, which is just a point, really. It's not strategically all that strong for them since the column 4 was denied. He needs to now get out of here and get that Jazz if he wants to stop that bingo threat from building. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of work that Unhandled Exception have to do from this position to prevent bingos, and then there's the looming threat of graffiti as well.
Yeah.
Miku is in Shibuya picking up bricks 25, and then there's also grind 10. So it's more points for Unhandled Exception, and certainly you can't neglect picking up points, but in terms of board control, looking a little rough for them.
Yeah. I think Daft is going into, or at least trying to onion and then go into Skydiner Graffiti, but Remy does have the upper hand here with the pre-spray. Or not, Daft is leaving.
Yeah, he needs to leave. He needs to deal with that Jazz. This is the right read from him, if that is, in fact, where he is going. That's
Are you
not
okay?
the right way. I was very worried that he would be going for Soda there, which is possibly the weakest square on the board right now. No.
Yeah.
Different plan, perhaps.
Sky Dino.
This is also not great. It's been a while since Ryomi marked anything because he's been working in Sky Dino. The last thing he marked would have been the Sky Dino Air.
Yeah.
Which means that Daft knows that he's in Sky Dino and should realistically not be going for Sky Dino and is instead here in SDPP.
Doing
perhaps
points
working on
100k.
the graffiti or points. Yeah, points by the looks
Probably
of it.
both. Yeah. Honestly, best thing Daft could do now, apart from, Stadium Unlock Jazz, but Miku's also in SCPP. So maybe
play
co-op
here.
Graffiti? But that Jazz is also a problem, but Yayo's on it, so it would be a bad idea to commit. But they don't know that.
I'm not sure if Unhandled Exceptions necessarily know that the diagonal is building, or if they've accepted that the diagonal is building and are just trying to find points elsewhere. But no, with Miku going into Dino, this is a big disaster for Unhandled Exception. Not the right read on the board. Guy Dino very close to being finished here for Ryomi. He's just a little low on cans right now. It's actually taking him a little longer to do this than I would have expected. Low on cans, having to kind of restart the route as well. And this is unfortunately wasting more of Miku's time, right? Because he still doesn't know that Ryomi's here. So Ryomi taking slightly longer in here means that Miku is spending a lot more time just doing nothing as well.
Yeah, but with that being said, Miku has started the Sky Dino Graffiti and is most likely going to get sniped to it. But then again, it is Sky Dino.
Going into Dino.
Oh wow, okay.
This isn't impossible.
Yeah. It's not impossible. That's the best way to put it.
This will have to be clean from Unhandled Exception, but if there's a time for them to step up and take control of the graffiti aspect of the game, it would be right now. Ryomi's about halfway done with this route.
And has skill issued.
He's having a little bit of trouble with it. Something I must have missed is that I saw him come back into Dino, and I'm assuming that he left to get floating pink half pipes. That's the only real read I can make on that. I didn't see it happen. But yeah, I think he used some of his advantage in Dino to buy some time, go get another square, but that means he hasn't finished the route off completely. He'll finish it off now, though. It's just 2 more sprays to do, and they're right here, which means the The Dino Graffiti Gambit, unfortunately, will fail the Unhandled Exception, and that puts them in a really bad situation. Bingo Graffiti locked in on the diagonal for Team Hypebeasts, and that catapults them into a winning position.
Yeah. So now, Unhandled Exception's objective is just to get out of there and just try to grab stuff. But if they did win that Skydiner Graffiti, that would have put them in a very, very good position. So it was the right play to make, especially with the co-op.
Yeah, I like the play, but Ryomi actually used his time very efficiently there. It was risky, and it was aggressive, but from going into Dino, starting off the route, leaving, getting floating pink half pipes, then somehow baiting his opponents into Dino, and then finishing off Dino, he wastes a lot of opponents' time, and still picks up all the points, still locks in that Bingo Graffiti.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good play.
Games.
That's like a really 1v1 kind of play from Ryomi. But it worked.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's interesting to see what they go for now. They're in fact, all of them, apart from Yayo, is going for SCPV Graffiti. Or not, Daft is leaving. So Miku's left to finish this off.
Hypebeasts can win with RDH Graffiti, which Yayo is uncontested to.
Okay. Then, yeah. Game's essentially over, but let's see how this plays out.
This is the coup de grace from Hypebeasts, the double graffiti here. There is realistically no way Unhandled Exception can beat them to both graffitis. And I think they understand that. I think Hypebeasts understood that, and that's why they go for this. There are certainly other ways they could win the game from this position, but RDH is a quick route, and if you know you're uncontested, which realistically you probably know, given the time between squares that Miku, for Miku, and then the fact that Daft marked in Unhandled, in Benton Show, sorry, speaking is difficult. There is the possibility that Yayo doesn't know where Miku is and that he could be getting sniped to this right now, but even then, that means that Ryomi is in SDPP and is ahead, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not a perfect play, but it's a pretty close to perfect play across the board.
Yeah, it was a pretty good play. With that being said, the RDH Graffiti is coming to close, 47 out of 53. Daft is trying his level best, but it's just not going to be enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, overall, a good showing from Unhandled Exception, but as expected, Hypebeast's control of graffiti does make a difference here, because Unhandled Exception, they avoided it for as long as possible, and then realized that they needed to do it when it was already too late. And Hypebeasts can hold that over them and always know that that is a win condition for them against this team. And overall pretty clean game from Hypebeasts.
Yeah, two kind of polar opposites. Hypebeasts liking to do graffiti, and Unhandled not particularly. So I guess that kind of shot them in the foot. But still really enjoyable games today. I actually enjoyed that. GG's to both teams. I assume they might want to finish this out, maybe at least the SCPP Graffiti.
Yeah, we'll see if they play the board out. But with that one locked in, Hypebeasts take another win, which puts them, that's their 4th win this season. 4-1 right now. Flying high, qualifying for playoffs. And for Unhandled Exception, there's still the very slim, I want to say there's a slim possibility they can qualify for playoffs, but I actually don't know if that's possible at this point. I think they only have 2 games remaining.
Yeah. We'll just have to check the spreadsheet and see.
From this position, have they already played Unwantables and Rollerblades? I believe they have. Yes, they have, which means I think with this defeat, EXE can't qualify for playoffs based on tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah.
scrambling to figure this out in my head right now, but it does look
yeah.
like this unfortunately closes out any possible playoff qualification for Team EXE.
Yeah, it does look like they're both opting to finish the board as per Rumi's request. So, yeah, there's some fun stuff left on the board, relatively.
We still have an entire SDPP graffiti route.
Yeah.
Shocking, really, to see this left at last. That's never
Yeah.
happened before. And Soda as well, not particularly an attractive square. And then Kibo as well, not an attractive area. So yeah, unsurprising to see what is left on the board.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll play it out.
Yeah. All players are on emulator apart from Yayo, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So yeah, Yayo will probably rush Kibo after this and then win. Unless actually Daft is in bottom point, so probably, maybe. I mean, does Daft know store launch? Do we know that?
Haven't a clue. Daft's knowledge of JSRF is esoteric at best.
Esoteric, yeah. I guess we'll find out. This Daft does enter Kibo and is probably gonna go for. I mean, there's no clue. We'll see.
Yeah, so we do have confirmation now that playoffs are locked in. It will be Bundig, Hypebeasts, Unwantables, and Rollerblades in the top four for playoffs. Still, they can play for standing in the round robin, I believe. There may still be some wiggle room there, which would determine the matchups that we see in semifinals. But we do have our playoffs teams locked in.
Yeah, exciting news. Yeah, so Daft is just going to go the traditional route and go straight to tape. Actually, probably lower platform and then tape.
I think Hypebeasts are just trying to amass as many points as they possibly can on this board now. When you look at the score, right, 17-9, it looks like a complete blowout, but it wasn't, actually. It was a relatively close game up until that Sky Dino Graffiti Bingo really clenched it for Hypebeasts.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that is just kind of JSRF. One square does make that big of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a huge point swing, right? You got the graffiti itself worth 3 points, the bingo is worth 2, which means not only is that a 5-point gain, but you're also denying that 3 points from your opponent for the graffiti. So it's realistically an 8-point swing, and that's the difference in this game right now is 8 points.
Yeah. I guess Miku climbing up to Observatory, just gonna finish those sprays. But yeah, Rumi and Daft are both there and just about to finish as well. So we'll see.
This is a very funny board to play out, just given what was left on the board.
Yeah.
But I guess our players just really enjoy playing bingo, and that's great.
Yeah. Bingo is pretty fun.
I enjoy watching bingo, and I enjoy commentating bingo, and I enjoy producing bingo, and we hope you all enjoy watching bingo. There's still plenty more to come.
Yeah.
Let me check our schedule right now. Which
there's
we don't have the game
spray
scheduled. So once again, join our Discord server so that you can be updated up to the minute with our scheduling and find out when the next games will be. And also give us money on Ko-Fi, Coffee, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I always read it as Ko-Fi, like hi-fi, but maybe I'm just old.
Yeah. And Yayo sitting canless, just waiting for Rumi to clean up, and Hats. They're just gonna beat each other up, I assume. Or just go into the void. Yeah, so Daft just about to collect points 250. Yeah, points 250k, and I guess they're good to go Highway 0.
Yeah, Hypebeasts up to 20 points right now. And still in Benton Show to pick up a potential 2 more. Will we get a contest here? Looks like Miku's going into 99th. Ryomi is already there, so we'll have the slight advantage to that. 99th special. Duff picking up the final square in Kogane, the Kibo points, 250k. Yayo uncontested then to Soda. And we'll see a relatively close race actually for this 99th special. Both of them with boosts as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They started at virtually the same time, so it's just going to be who can go and pick it up faster, really.
Yeah, both of them have cans. This is very much just down to execution, right? It's down to movement. Maybe very slight advantage for Ryomi, but there are stream delay to consider since Miku is in Australia.
Yeah.
They unlock it.
Think
Synchronized.
Love to see it, love to see it.
Is Ryomi going for a quick light setup here to grab the soul? Oh no, he's going through the gates. Is this faster? We'll find out, I suppose. You can basically just drop down into it. And yeah, that is slightly faster. Well, there you go. I learned something today.
New strat found.
Not sure it's
Presumably.
new, but it's new to me, and I like learning things. That's cool. All right, well, that pretty much clears out the board as Yayo will now lock in Soda Race at a brisk 55.5 seconds, and 22 points to 11. Team Hypebeasts take the 2-0 win.
Yeah, and that is time. Awesome. 22-11.
All right, let's get our players in here. We got a Yayo, and everybody else is here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Congratulations
GG's to
on
both
your
players.
Thanks.
How we doing then? Let's start with Team Hypebeasts, our winners. How you feeling about that?
Good. I'm fine.
Now, game 2, we'll get to game 2 in a minute because it was a very different kind of game. Game 1 was close.
Game 1 was close. Yeah.
Was it?
It was.
I
it
wasn't paying attention. What
Yeah,
happened?
it very much just came down to you were just slightly quicker around the board and picked up a couple more squares. It was a 3-point win, I believe. The game began with super Benton stack with Yayo in Highway 0 and Daft in Sky Dino.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
I literally forgot what happened the first game already.
Yeah, I can't remember
Fair
the first game either.
My brain cells are just firing right now.
okay, well, let's talk about the one that's more recent in your memory than the game 2.
Yeah.
Ryomi, your Sky Dino play. That was very
So-
1v1. That was a very 1v1 kind of play, going into Dino, starting up the graffiti route, leaving, picking up more souls, then going back into Dino, finishing off the route, and still winning, and then locking in the diagonal bingo.
Yeah, let me see the board. Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna commit to Sky Dino like on my second fucking square. So I'm just gonna take one thing in STPP, then go back. And then I just told y'all, just go straight to Jazz. And it worked out.
To be fair though, that was our initial play. Like I told you from the beginning of the game, let's do top right, bottom left. It just didn't hear, but yeah.
Yeah, we saw that off of the break. It was interesting because Unhandled Exception were working on the row 5. And so both of you were going to butt heads at Dogen at some point with the points 50k. And you ended up ever so slightly ahead to that. And that not only denied your opponent's bingo, but also helped you to secure your own. I do wonder though, Daft Miku, did you see that diagonal building?
Yes, I saw it, and that's sort of why I wanted to go for the Dogen. It was also to set up our bingo. But I was like, all right, I need this 50k, so then we block this diagonal. And then I see Yayo grab the Dogen air, and I'm like, ah, damn it. Well, and my
Just a
was
little
like,
too, little too slow.
yeah,
Unfortunate.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You were in Chua though, no? Like you were closer
You guys
than
weren't
me.
doing anything for like 10 minutes. What were you guys doing in the second game?
I mean, I was trying to set up the row 5, and then after that got sniped, I was like, I guess I'll go to Shibuya, get those squares, and then I was like, all right, I'll go to I'll go to Dark Side and see what I can do there. Because there's Sky Dino and SDPB, so I thought make my way there, try and start something.
I think it is worth noticing, worth pointing out, that across these 2 games, there were 4 graffiti squares on the board. And
Yeah, I
Team
don't know why
Hypebeasts
it's only happening
secured
to us.
all 4 of them.
Yeah, we keep getting graffiti boards for some reason.
Well, I mean, the first game was only Highway 0 graffiti, but you secured that, and then coming into game 2, there were 3 graffitis on this board, and you scored all 3 of them. We did kind of identify this game as being the stylistic difference between you 2 teams, where one team loves graffiti, the other team avoids graffiti at all costs. And in the end, it looks quite decisive when it is a 4-0 graffiti split.
Yeah, I'm over here
Yeah.
telling y'all, do you think they're gonna do graffiti? Because of Daft. And
Well, we
Apparently
were
you guys
doing
didn't.
graffiti, we just got beat to it, I guess.
oh, which one?
Yeah,
were
I
you
liked
doing?
the co-op.
We
You
broke
tend
We
to-
started.
After you
we-
took
yeah.
Dino, we broke up. He started Skyscraper. Well, I'd done like 2 tags, but he did Skyscraper. I went to RDH. It didn't matter. Yeah, he was already like, must have already started RDH as well. So good on him for that. That was quick for him.
Oh, you guys started Sky Dino together? That's
No. Miku,
Yeah.
after, well, yeah, so we went to Dino, tried to contest you. After that,
Oh.
Miku went to Skyscraper, I went to RDH. That's how we tried to do it. But, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, you were just a little bit behind the curve because I think Hypebeasts had already kind of visualized that play and were already putting it into action by the time that you realized that you needed to be doing it. And that kind of decided it.
I was
That's,
hyped for this board because there was a whole bunch of dark sides, so I was like, I'm just gonna go fight that. Have some fun.
Yeah, these were 2 heavy Benton boards, which... Daft, how are you feeling about that?
Oh, fine, I suppose.
Did you actually ever leave Benton Show this match?
I went to RDH, right? Yeah, and then I finished in Kogani.
Listen, we love a Benton appreciator. Anyway,
No.
thank you for playing, everybody. I think that's going to do it, unless anyone has any closing thoughts.
Yeah,
GG's, I guess. It was pretty cool to finally play Miku and Daft since they're always dodging practice games. It's fine to do an actual match with them.
yeah. Great effort from both teams. I really enjoyed today's matches.
Well,
All right, well, with that, we're done. Thank you for tuning in for the Bingo Double Bill, and we will see you soon for our next matches, which have not been scheduled yet, but as always, you can join the Discord to get up-to-the-minute scheduling updates, and you can also give us money at our coffee, which is linked in places, because that's how we funded our amazing new voiceover for our intro and such like that. More Bingo content coming soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
let's go.